Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair ragale, ni hao, chunashumme, washmale, ohaya gonzaimas, guten morgen, hi, hugs and hellos, and a very amazing khush ahmadid to everybody who's tuned into PT World and are watching World this morning. Alongside the only one, Shahzad Hassan Khan. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's time to rise and shine, wake and bake, get up, and we hope that you guys are ready to kickstart your week with us and with the team of PT World and World this morning alongside. So Maha is on vacation, so she's not going to be around for, I think, another 2.5 weeks. She's in England. She's having the time of her life. So I think I'll have to do all the chores as well. But ladies and gentlemen, today, before we get started the show, there's one important thing which I need to mention over here, that whatever we are going to discuss today is going to be a discussion, and everybody who's over here to discuss with us on that particular topic has their own opinions as well. So please make sure that you do not find it as a judgment. So this is a verbal disclaimer. Please make sure that you do not go against us, because we do not really want somebody to be filing a case against us just because of the fact that we were talking and it was a generic discussion. And it depends on you whether you want to take this information and whether you want this information to have a positive impact on your life, because whoever we call within the studios, even if they have their own opinions or even if they form judgments about whatever questions we ask, that means that, you know, they are here in the capacity of an expert. And when we say an expert, we obviously do our research that, you know, who needs to be there when we are discussing a topic. So before we move on to the topic, I think it's about time that we move on towards the top stories. Let's find out what's happening in the country. Supreme Court will take up Panama Papers case today in light of Joint Investigation Team's report. Three-member special bench of Apex Court headed by Justice Ejaz Afzal Khan will hear the case. Chief Minister Punjab Shahbaz Sharif resolves to defeat saboteurs impeding progress, says people only desire to see peace, economic growth and development in the country. Senate will begin its session today at 4 p.m. in Parliament House, Islamabad. The House will discuss important national issues besides legislative businesses. Pakistan Army launches Operation Khyber 4 in Rajgal Valley of Khyber Agency along Pak-Afghan border to clear the area from terrorists. Four-day anti-polio drive kicks off in Balochistan and Karachi. Children under age of 5 years will be administered anti-polio vaccine. Last but not the least, monsoon rains continue in various parts of country as Met Office predicts more rains in upper parts of country till Wednesday. All right, ladies and gentlemen, these are the top stories. So this is what's happening in the country. And now I think it's time for the public service message. Let's move on towards that. So I think today our public service message is more focused on the women, because of the fact that we know that within our society, it's the women who usually have to go cook in the kitchen as well. So there's one simple request which you all need to do. Even if men go to the kitchen, that's perfectly all right. You know, we do not want to have a gender discrimination over here early in the morning. So what you need to do is please make sure that you do not carry your cell phones if you are cooking, because the heat within the kitchen is actually blowing up all the batteries of the cell phones. This is a newer article, and the research says, yes, it is happening because of the heat within the kitchen, because even the outer temperature is so hot that we are experiencing temperatures alongside 40 degrees centigrade, 44 degrees centigrade. And then when you're in the kitchen, I think it might probably just move up 3 or 4 degrees another extra. So please make sure that you do not take your cell phones within the kitchen. All right, so this was a public service message. Now let's get started with the show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today we want to talk about, obviously, we've always been very positive about the aspects, all the aspects in life, you know, no matter what you do, you know, which walk of life you represent. But at the same time, there are people who actually have to do some other things, or probably, you know, they're very impulsive in their actions, because if I'm saying something, it might have an effect on you and you start doing it. And it's a multiplying effect as well, or a domino effect. Now, today we are going to talk about all of these social media platforms which are out there, for example, Facebook, for example, Twitter, for example, Snapchat, for example, Instagram. Now, obviously, there is a sole purpose of all of these social media platforms, and then we do not know what that sole purpose is. But whatever we know is we make a profile, and whatever we think is in our head, which is freedom of speech, and then we say, okay, we can do that, we can do that, we can write this. Now, as a matter of fact, all of these posts which are coming on social media are having an impact on the society, on the nations, and eventually the brain set is actually changing day by day. And half of the time I've seen that majority of my friends, they've actually make sure that they're not going to use Facebook or all of these platforms because they think that they're getting stressed. But as a matter of fact, I think there can be quite a lot of positive things which can be taken out. For example, those photography tools which are out there on Facebook or on YouTube, the tutorials which people see, can be makeup tutorials, can be mechanics tutorials, engineering tutorials. Everybody can take advantage from that as well. So which way do we really have to go, and what is the sole purpose of these things? This is what we are talking about today. So on my right hand side, I've been joined by some very apt guests. On my right hand side, the first one is Miss Farah Naz Naveed Ashraf, who's a social media analyst. Hello Farah, how are you? Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, ji. I'm good, great.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure to be on your show today.
Thank you very much for being with us. And alongside Ms. Farah, we have got Mr. Zafar Sami, who's a telecommunication expert himself. Hello, sir. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Fine,
assalam.
thanks for inviting us.
Thank you very much for waking up early in the morning for the show. And alongside Mr. Zafar Sami, we have got Mr. Suhaib Yassin, who's an entrepreneur himself. Hello, Suhaib. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you for inviting
Was it
us.
really hard for you to wake up in the morning?
Yeah, it was pretty hard.
It was
I
pretty
won't
hard.
lie.
But I think it's going to pay off as well.
Definitely.
And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we have got Faria Hafiz, who's a social media activist herself. Hello, Faria. How are you?
Hello, assalamu alaikum. I'm good, alhamdulillah. And it's really a pleasure to be here.
Oh, thank you very much. Likewise. All right, so I'm going to start with each one of you. For example, so you've got Facebook,
Yeah.
you've got Twitter, you've got YouTube, and then you've got Instagram.
Can I have Instagram? I'm very big on
okay,
Instagram.
you guys want to change? Do you guys want to change?
I can do
I'm
Facebook.
okay with it.
Okay.
I'll do Instagram.
Okay, you'll do Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do YouTube.
I'll do Facebook.
Okay, see, we wanted to be interactive. All right, so yeah, let's start with Instagram. Sole purpose of Instagram.
Yeah, basically, in my opinion, the sole purpose would have been to showcase your businesses and reach a large number of audience, especially for small businesses, and also people who are into hobbies and they want to connect with people to showcase their hobbies and connect with a lot of people.
And how are we using it?
A lot of people are using it in that way.
Okay.
But obviously then, just like with other platforms, people are trying to show off.
Yeah.
And that,
For example, people like Dan Bilzerian.
so people are trying to show off, and that probably generates a lot of jealousy,
All right.
low self-esteem, and other such related and dissatisfaction with their own lives, because what a person watches on a particular picture is that particular picture is really choreographed.
Yeah.
And the other person watching it
And
would
then you've
really,
got so many filters, and,
and then you have so many
older
filters.
women
But
looking
you also
younger as
have a
well.
hashtag filter.
Yeah. Okay, so
so,
let's move on to Zafar Saab over here. So Zafar Saab, let's talk about YouTube then.
Well, I'll give my personal perspective first.
Sure.
I found YouTube to be an excellent learning tool. I bought a camera 5-6 years ago and didn't know how to use it.
Yeah.
And I really benefited from all the tutorials on YouTube. And I also use that to watch cycling related stuff because I'm not a cyclist, but I like to cycle.
Wow.
And there's a lot of information out there on YouTube. It really depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yes, there's hate speech, there are hate videos on YouTube as well. They do get taken down from time to time. I may add that sometimes they're selectively taken down. There are certain groups who are holier than the rest. But I mean, overall, I really suffered during the YouTube ban here in the country because it disconnected me from my hobby. YouTube is a one-way media.
Exactly.
It's for dissemination of whatever that person would like to show. And for a hobbyist, it's the best resource. I've been YouTubing, videos on how to fix a computer problem,
Yeah.
or how to reset my phone to factory. So it's a wealth of resource out there.
Exactly, and thank you very much for saying that. I think with that I need to share something other than that too about YouTube, and that is that, ladies and gentlemen, now whenever we say YouTube, as a matter of fact, I think that this medium is the new TV. And what happens is that, for all of those televisions which are out there, okay, so now my producer says that we have to go for an emergency break. So I'll stop over here. When you come back, I'll definitely tell you about that. So let's go for a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Good morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and let's begin from where we were. So I was talking about YouTube, and YouTube is the new TV. This is what I was saying. Now, what happens is that, you have all the options from all around the world. Everybody all over the globe is uploading their content, and it's a useful tool because you can earn from YouTube as well. If you've got a 100K subscriber rate, or probably more than that, so, per view, you're getting at least you're getting paid. And then there are people, there are YouTube celebrities, there are internet celebrities out there, and I think it can be very useful for all those people who doesn't really want to move from their beds, or probably want to go out in the hot summer out there as well. So now, Suhaib, moving on to you. So you're telling us about the sole purpose of Facebook.
Well, I'll start with a very positive note.
Sure.
A very short story. A friend of mine, he has this issue. He stutters whenever he talks. So I added him on this group of ours, P Square. It's not a group, it's a community where we share a lot of pictures of random things.
Yeah.
So in our group, he was known as a person who used to stutter a lot. But when he started sharing his photographs on the platform,
Yeah.
people started knowing him for the work he was into.
Okay.
And that was a huge self-confidence boost for him. And now he talks through his photography. That's the whole point. So I'll stick to the positive end of it.
Okay, fair enough that you stick to the positive end of that. Now, I'm not saying that I want you to deviate from your positive
Okay.
energy. Now, let's talk about Kandil Baloch. Let's talk about Arshad. He was an internet sensation. We've got two different examples. As a matter of fact, do you think we are creating heroes with these social media platforms, or do you think that we are diverting towards another end, which is I don't see it anywhere?
Well, to be very honest with you, Kandil was one of us. So was Arshad. Everybody comes from us.
Yeah.
It's how we take things, how we perceive them, how we react to them. If I was not interested in Kandil Baloch, she's dead right now. I won't say anything bad, or I was not a fan. But if we were not watching her videos would have never made any sense to anybody.
I think that
it's
that's
all up to us.
That's a good point, that you have the choice
Yeah.
to view whatever you want to view. Okay, now moving on to you, Twitter.
Basically, I think Twitter is for pointing our opinions, to giving our opinion. But I think despite of this, people are using in disrespecting each other. A big journalist or these well-known persons, they are using this to emphasize us, to emphasize their propaganda, and to tell that we are thinking this, and you have to think like the same.
Okay,
So
Zafar Saab smiling. Zafar Saab, do you want to add on to that?
Donald Trump has revolutionized
Yes.
the use of Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just turned it on its head.
Especially that
That's the
coffee
only
part.
comment. Go
The
Fifi.
coffee.
Yeah, yeah, that part was like
I mean, it's an alternate universe. I mean, I
Now
actually.
imagine what happened to Rishi Kapoor across the border.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Rishi Kapoor
He
is
was
a
trolled
big-
so badly.
He was also bad.
I actually have started reading Donald Trump's tweets for entertainment.
Same.
Yeah, that's
same.
what he's doing.
Every morning, I try to read a couple of tweets so that I know, what's happening. And then Trevor Noah on Saturday Night Live. I mean, that's where I get the.
That is
rest of the
amazing, and I've
laughs.
got another amazing story to share with all our amazing people who are out there. So, Dwayne Rock Johnson is actually going to be a presidential candidate in 2020. So, I think Trump has opened up new avenues for everybody out there as well. And I think it gives me hope that, one day even I can be the Prime Minister of the country if people want somebody to be very fair and transparent. All right. But now, continuing with the conversation, since we know the use, now, obviously, what goes around comes around as well. What do you think we are doing with these tools?
All right, so what we are doing, I mean, I think everybody's using it in their own way. So the people who are using it negatively have the negative.
What do you mean when you say negative?
Okay, so there is a lot of cyberbullying.
Yeah.
People, mostly in teenagers, so they are using it to sort of troll their, peers and pressurize them.
Yeah.
That is being, that is using it in a negative way. Then there are people who want to show off and who want to put other people down, and they'll, whatever possessions they have, they're going to put that out there, and so they sort of wanna.
Whether it's their own or not.
And obviously,
Yeah.
a lot of times it's not very real. Also, what they're putting out there.
Yeah.
So I guess everybody's using it in a different manner. If you're a positive person, you're going to use it in a positive manner.
Okay.
Like we're using Facebook, we have this group, and it's like Sohaib mentioned, it's not a hardcore photography group, it's more of a community. And we encourage people from diverse backgrounds to sort of come on there and share their pictures. And you don't have to have a very excellent skills in photography. You can be a housewife and you can just put on a picture of something you cooked that day.
Yeah.
And she'll just put that on and everybody's appreciating that. So that gives her a great boost.
The best point I love about photographers is, I do not know whether you did it or not, that in the very day when you actually get a camera, you start taking pictures of all those flowers within your backyard.
Yes.
That's what you do.
I just like
That's-
to add,
that's how you
in,
learn.
in today's day and age, everybody's a photographer because the cell phone is with everybody.
Okay, thank you
That's
very much.
a very big problem. I mean, allow me to interrupt because
Sure.
I just thought of this. You've read stories of famous papers in the US firing their complete photography staff and depending on cell phone pictures that people send in.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a phenomenon of this day and age.
That's where I was coming. Why do you think people have this problem or this concept within their heads that not anybody or everybody can do whatever job it is? Why? Why can't we be open to all of these things? Let them try, let them do. They might be good, they might not be good. I mean, it's their choice. Everybody's got this platform to use. Why do we have this
Exactly.
concept? Yeah, everybody's carrying a DSLR these days. Let them carry. Yeah, what are they saying to you?
people
I'll
try
give you a
for
very
the
personal example.
inclusive
Sure.
clubs. We
Yeah.
are very inclusive. So we
No, I'm not talking about you,
I'm
sorry.
just
Yeah.
generally
Yeah, yeah.
generally saying. So yeah, why be so exclusive?
I'll give you a very, very cogent example.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you are sitting in that seat,
Exactly.
right? There's a certain qualification, there's a certain development path that you followed
Exactly.
to reach there. Everybody in any hobby, whether it's photography or any other field, if they're willing to put in the hours, if they're willing to learn, they can get somewhere.
Exactly.
But when I hear of a newspaper firing qualified photographers who know how to tell a story and rely on chance cell phone pictures, the quality of reporting is going down.
But I think they're relying on saving quite a lot of money. I think that's what their concept might be, because they didn't want it to go bankrupt. So they're like, okay, fire these people. Obviously, certain things are taking away our jobs as well. So we really have to be careful, and then we have to be on our toes too as well. But moving on. Now, since we are saying that, we need to be inclusive as a society, we say it on our show as well. There's one more thing which I need to share, and that is, if my producer, Mr. Usman, is hearing me, I've tagged you in a video last night, and it's about what can go wrong. Possibly, how can people troll you, or how can your kids not be safe by putting on pictures on Facebook or YouTube or whatnot. So if you can play that video, if you can find that, please look for it, and then just let me know whenever you're ready. So now moving on. Now, since we're talking about all of these platforms and all of these groups which are being made, there are groups from NGOs and whatnot. How do we know that these groups are authentic? How do we know that whatever research or whatever articles we are reading are authentic? Because majority of the times, then there are people saying, oh, America has no visa policy for Pakistanis. And when you read it, I mean, people do not do that. I'm just, for all those people who are out there, it's for your information. Now, the website's name is shit.com. I'm sorry for my word, but that's what the name was. And then people started sharing it again and again. Oh, no visa policy for Pakistanis. I mean, come on, do your research. How do you think that we can make sure that whatever articles we're reading are authentic?
Well, the only thing that comes to my mind, keep on using it till you're done with all the shitty websites. That's it. Do not mind me saying that. There was another aspect. There's a group in Islamabad. I won't be taking its name. They do reviews about different restaurants.
Okay, yeah.
Fine. There are people who are paid by the restaurant owners to write good reviews about it.
Yeah.
About their own like whole setup. I visited a restaurant. Again, I won't be naming it. I had a very bad experience. I went over there and I started ranting. Like I was like, dude, I paid this much amount. I was expecting good food. I wanted it to be good. And after a few hours, I saw somebody, like a girl, and she was saying, this is the best restaurant in the whole Islamabad, and the food is like 10 out of 10, ambience is 10 out of 10, and I will give the staff 11 out of 10. I was like, dude, I am a genuine customer, a paying customer. I shared my view with the whole community, and after
So
a
this
few
is what
hours,
I'm
somebody's
saying, that the
coming up.
information is being forced.
Yes.
So what do we have to do about it?
Well, people know.
Okay.
People who
People
have
only
the
get
sense.
to know when they get over
Yes.
there, when they get a first-hand experience.
The more you use it, the better you get at it. That's it.
So I mean that.
Let me
Sure.
give you a famous quote by the former US President Abraham Lincoln.
Sure.
87% of the statistics on the internet are wrong.
Now that's what I'm saying. That's where I was going.
So that's the point. I mean, you don't switch off your critical thinking just because you're on the internet.
But sir, in those days when Abraham Lincoln was actually the president, I don't think that there was quite a lot of information on internet even.
I know, that's the whole joke. That's the whole joke. The thing is, you see, the internet has allowed people space to act as something that they're not.
Yeah.
The internet has allowed people the luxury of bad behavior without consequences.
Yeah.
And the internet has allowed people to be abusive, again, without consequences.
Exactly.
Now, there are some people who say, oh no, it's only the internet, it's just a social media site, it is just a chat account. But there are humans on either side. And that is the thing that we must inculcate in our children as well, that when you're interacting with somebody, it's not a machine, there's a human on the other end, and they have the same insecurities that you may have.
Exactly.
So, and fake news, I mean, is a hot topic, everywhere. There are satire websites
they are
that people
taken
don't
as
understand
the
sometimes.
people don't understand.
So, the information dam has burst.
Exactly.
There's no way of holding it
And you
back.
don't know which information to look for, and there's other information coming in. You do not want that information anyways, and it's not going to be useful for you in your entire life, but it's just there. So now moving on to Faria over here.
I want to add a point here. I think we are so quick at
Why aren't we
judgment.
subtracting points now? Why are we just adding points? Yeah.
I think we are so quick at judgment.
Yeah.
Instead of judging others, we should look ourselves first of all. And there is a lack of awareness basically to how to use social media.
Okay.
Everyone.
Teach
here,
us.
Everyone.
Come on. I mean, we don't know. Here's my
I
expression.
mean,
Yeah.
I am a social media activist and I know how people are abusing others. I think
So
there
as
is
an activist, you might have done that too as well. You
No.
made people abuse, right?
no. I think there is some ethics.
Okay.
There is no. I think if there is freedom of speech, so we should know there are some ethics, there are some manners. If there is no PAMRA, there is no organization is sitting to. I think
We
to
do have a
look us-
cybercrime bill. Come
so
on,
we
please
should
don't
know
say that.
ourselves
Yeah.
that what we are doing. So I think there is lack of awareness in our society basically.
Okay, as a social media activist, now this is a very focused question, and that is that I've seen quite a lot of activists are hired by agencies and then different institutions, and they want them to propagate about whatever their agenda is. Do you do that? Are you
Basically,
guilty
I'm
of that?
not from any agency.
no, that's good.
I'm
That's
just a
cool.
simple
But you're a
activist.
social media activist, right?
Yeah.
That's how you earn. People pay you money because they want you to say whatever they want, right? So
Yeah.
that means that you are propagating their agendas, and you might be, forging all those information which has been given to you as well. So is that correct? Quite a lot of activists do
I
that.
think
They
it's,
do not do that, or do you have these blue book of moral ethics with you as well all the time? How do you do it?
I think it's a little bit correct because as I see on Twitter, on Facebook, there are paid activists
Okay.
who are following their agenda, who are following their trends, and who are saying what they want them to say. So I think instead of following that agenda, instead of following them, we should know that what's correct and what's wrong. There are different organizations which are against each others. So there are number of organizations who are against each other, and they are using social media for their competition, for their agenda. So you are a little bit correct, as I see on social media.
So now what do we have to do about it?
We should be active viewers, we should be active activists. Matlab, instead of their following them, we should know, we should correct ourselves.
Should I add to that, or maybe multiply into that? Since
Whatever you feel, whatever.
So, you know, with everything, one needs to make people aware of all these things. So, the only way to go forward is to educate people and to tell people, just like we tell people that whatever is projected on a screen, the photograph is not real, it's filtered or whatever. Just like, you know, on Twitter, we need to tell people that do not take everything at face value. People are being paid, and you need to be smart enough to decipher. And you get to know once you are on a medium long enough. So you just have to educate people now to how to deal with the new reality, which is social media.
Okay, that is amazing. Thank you very much for saying that, you know, it's a new reality, and indeed it is. You know, we are not going to walk backwards, ladies and gentlemen. We have to accept that, you know, all of these things are going to probably evolve in a very better shape. And since we are here, you know, and the coming generations, who are actually learning how to use all of these things, I think they might be even good at using all of these tools as well. When we come back, we'll definitely talk about that there's no turning back. So what is the way forward? Let's go for a short break. Don't go anywhere, and I'll check with my producer whether the video is ready or not. Don't go anywhere. It's a very interesting one.
Just like the billboard paintings performed in Pakistan, there is another indigenous form of art performed in Pakistan, and it is the truck art. With its all colorful floral patterns, depiction of human heroes with creative aspects, ratios, calligraphy of poetic verse, and drivers' words of wisdom. This form of art is truly a part of Pakistani transport tradition. Many trucks and buses in Pakistan are highly customized and decorated by their owners. These adjourned vehicles are considered as moving art or jingle art. Because of their unique decor style, these vehicles are quite distinct in layers from other trucks around the world. Each part of the vehicle is decorated differently, with variations depending on the regional style. In Pakistan, a truck driver, owner, usually pays $3,000 to $5,000 for their vehicle's external decoration. The art embellishes such trucks according to the particular tastes of the driver. Nearly every city in Pakistan has a unique decor. The Balochistan and Peshawari trucks are heavily trimmed with wood. Rawalpindi and Islamabad trucks have permanently featured plastic work. Camel-borne ornamentation is commonly seen in trucks decorated by Sindh artists. These trucks are also representative of different local, historical, and cultural regions of Pakistan. Thus, these trucks are also representative of different historical and cultural regions of Pakistan, the enchanting arts and crafts of Pakistan.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And for everybody who just got tuned into PTV World, you're watching World This Morning alongside Shazad Khan. Today we're discussing all the social media platforms. Well, not entirely all of them. A few of them which are very famous and people tend to use them as well. We've been joined by very apt guests, and they are Farah Naz, Suhaib Yasin Saab, Zafar Saab, and then we'll go for Riya as well. And before going towards the break, I wanted to ask that, obviously technology is not going to go backwards. Technology gets obsolete, and then there are newer trends, and then there are newer platforms, and that's how it's going to be. The world's not going to be a better place if you think that, these social media platforms are not doing any good to your life. So, that's not how it is. Let's face the reality. And what I wanted to ask was, how do you think we need to behave when we are around kids and we are using all of these tools? What do we need to teach them? And what can we possibly learn from all of that information bombardment which is going around us? So, Freya, we'll start with you.
So obviously you need to teach them moderation. You cannot hand a 2-year-old a tablet. You need to spend quality time with your kids. You're busy on Facebook and you just hand him the laptop or whatever, the tablet, and that is how they just start using it excessively. So what we need to teach them is balance. There are people who are doing this now, that eating time is switching off mobiles and stuff like that. That is a good way of doing that.
Yeah.
When you're out on vacations also, my kids keep telling me, enjoy the scene, capture it with your eyes.
Yeah.
Don't keep on using the cell, which
Exactly.
I tend to do. So moderation is the key. You have to find a balance. There is no going back.
But imagine if I haven't taken a picture, I was at Universal
I
Studios.
will still take one.
Because we have to post it. Oh, we were
Yes.
here. Right?
But the younger generation is shying away from that kind of show offing, and my son, he doesn't do it.
Because he's already been to Universal Studios
So-
at such a young age, I think.
So my point is, once a fad
My
starts,
father never actually bought me an air ticket. So I was very, happy for the very first time when I was sitting in an aeroplane. I was like, I've done it for.
yeah, they get opportunities much
Yeah.
sooner than we ever did. But my point is this, once a fad starts, everybody gets on that bandwagon and it's excessive.
Yeah.
Once it goes in and everybody starts calming down. I used to do a lot of check-ins. I had to check in every time.
Yeah.
I didn't do a check-in yesterday, and he was asking me, and I said, "Oh, I'm cool now." So
The best thing about checking is, this is a, I do not know whether I want to say it or not, but if you're stalking someone and if they check in, well, you can probably show up at what do you have to say about it?
It's a tool, it's a new tool, it'll take us time to come to grips with it. There have been various other new tools. If you remember, TV used to be a big bugbear back in the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
And, kids' eyes will be affected, radiation, so on. We've put it in its place. And we'll come to the lowest, common factor, and we'll learn where we want to be in social media, and we'll form our own communities like you do when you go to a club physically,
And you get exclusive.
and yeah. So that exclusivity also exists on social media. The only thing that needs a lot of concentration is behavior, and also. My own personal feeling is I don't have to win arguments on social media.
Why?
I state my opinion
Yeah.
once. If the other person takes it or likes it, fine. If not, I can just switch off my laptop.
Well, what if that opinion is for the sake of an argument?
Well, I have opinions.
Yeah.
I share them.
Yeah.
The other person has the same options as me.
Yeah.
They can block me, they can go to a different platform, they can do whatever.
Exactly.
Yes, I do not agree with hate speech of any form. Of
Exactly.
any form. Any sort of marginalization of a labeled group. So that's how I feel.
Amazing. Sir.
Well, I'll stay on the positive note. What I believe, we should practice patience. If you see somebody posting that is not accurate, a posting that is fake, be mature enough to share the actual facts with them and be
Yeah.
patient about it, instead of bashing them, you're dumb, you don't know how to use the medium, are you illiterate? No, don't get into it. You have to be your own self. If something pisses you off, do not get on to the other person's level.
Yeah.
and be like totally cool about it. Share the actual facts with the person, and everybody who has a common sense will
Yeah.
agree with you eventually. That's
Okay,
the
but
whole point.
eventually, now, you know, half of the question, everybody has missed out on that, so I'm going to reiterate, and that is that, you know, how do you think that while around kids, we need to teach them? Do we have to actually tell them, okay, you know, look, this is my profile, this is the type of pictures I post, this is the type of content you can post, please do not do this. When I was a kid, I was doing this, and look what happened. Do you think that we have to teach them practically? How do we teach them?
By example, obviously, I did slightly touch upon that. We need to ourselves not be on ourselves constantly for them to then know that this is not a thing that you have to keep on doing. We don't need to be taking selfies 24/7 for them to not, because I've seen kids so small making that pouty face.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to act ourselves, restrain ourselves while we are around kids. We can't really tell them things, we have to do them for them to follow. So, like I said, when family time is there, you need to switch off your gadgets, put them outside or do that. So, by example, I
All right,
think you
amazing.
can.
Freya.
I think instead of stopping your kids forcefully, sit with them, tell them the positive aspects, the negative aspects as well.
Tell me
One
the
of my-
positive aspects. I mean, I'm still looking for the positive aspects.
I think
Oh
there are
my
some
God.
privacy settings too. So I think go to them, and there are some privacy settings. So, and secondly, I want to share an example here. One of my friends asked me to make a fake account with the name of Princess this, because her mother did not give her permission to have a Facebook account.
Yeah.
I mean, why we stop our kids these to
Because there's no parental control over these things. That's why, I mean, if Facebook today, you know, has a policy that, you know, for all those kids who are actually below 15 or below 13, and if they want to make an account on Facebook, their account will directly be or connected to their father's account or their mother's account, I think then parents will be allowing if they want their subscriber rates to increase. I think that's a brilliant idea if you want to do that. If you do not want to do that, that's your choice too. You're already successful. Yeah.
So I guess be more friendly with your kids instead of stopping them forcefully that you won't have this account, this will be harmful for you. I think this is not a good way to tell your kids, to teach them.
Exactly.
So be friendly with them and tell them to use it with the good points and with good positive aspects as well.
All right, amazing. Thank you very much, guys, for being with us. You know, it was lovely to have you.
pleasure.
And any last words from anybody who wants to say something?
Yeah, I'd
which
just
is-
like to mention my founder member.
I was about to do that. Okay. You
on-
want to do that?
You can do that. and
Okay, very perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a very bad news with us today. In the morning, I got to know that, you know, one of our very highly esteemed guests, she was a PhD doctor, Zina Jabbar Sahib, is deceased now. So may her soul rest in peace. She has been on the show too as well. We've learned quite a lot of things from her. And condolences for the family as well. And for all those people who are out there, we definitely want you to pray for her soul. And if you want to say something,
Yes,
please
I'd
go ahead.
just like to say one thing that we all learned. We are from this group P Square, and Zinat was a co-founder with me. And what we learned from her was, first and foremost, be a good human being.
Yeah.
There are people who have not met her on the group, but the outpour of grief and condolences were amazing, because she just touched everybody through social media, and she was a very good human. She just wanted to stay connected with people. I think Zafar might want to add something to
I
that.
met her just a couple of times, and in those short meetings, I developed a huge amount of respect for her, because she actually earned people's respect by giving respect.
Yes.
And I think with this, I would like to wrap up the show as well. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, that death is a reality of life. But what you do in that lifetime is going to be a life forever. And if you have earned people, if you have shared values with them, if you have told them that, you know, this is how you can be in your life, I think that's the best part. That's the earning which you're going to take with yourself as well. And if you're remembering people over here, I think they're probably blessed. So please, for all those people, you know, who belong to her or who probably are her friends, please don't be worried about her, and she's in a better place, and all our prayers are with you too as well. So, and for all those people who are out there, you can definitely write to us about each and every aspect. We can still get back to them and ask. Our Facebook fan page is Well This Morning. On Twitter, we have Well This Morning without a G. On Daily Motion and YouTube, it's Well This Morning. See the benefits of it, the positive side of this. And then the fabulous repeat is going to be at 11:05 tonight. Look after yourselves. Good morning.